I feel like Ralph McDaniels on the episodes he wasn't in the club. I'm gonna ramble a bit about comic series. If you don't want to listen to my voice, please enjoy me struggling through Silksong. Damn, I was not ready for that game, bro. I love it though. It's good. Before I begin, I want to say I don't own the comic series. I'm talking about it, so I'm not putting up scans, and this mostly from my memory. So if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. All right, let's begin. Transmetropolitan came out about 90s and ended in like the 2000s, 60 issues. So I'm gonna try to sum that up. I'm gonna leave stuff out, but that's okay because I'm talking about what drew me to it. It was drawn by Derek Robinson, you probably know him from the Boys comic series, and written by Warren Ellis. Now Warren Ellis has admitted to doing some horrible things, so I don't want people to take this as an endorsement of him. But it is a series worth talking about, so it is what it is. So we start off with our main character, Spider Jerusalem. He's a burnt out, drugged out, self-exiled console journalist. If you don't know what that is, then let's say you read the paper, right? And it tells you that on this street, people are getting mugged constantly. The gonzo journalist goes to that street until he gets mugged and then writes a story about his experience during the incident. So all objectivity is removed. So Spider is forced to come out of exile because he's in debt and meets up with an old friend that now runs the paper. He's the editor now. And he agrees to give him a column, money, and journalist insurance, which is needed in this book because it's set in the future if I didn't mention it, and journalists need insurance. He automatically gets basically what he needs. Since it is in the future, you got like stuff like genetic modification. People put themselves in like a nanotech body. It's like a dust cloud. You do have stuff like that in it. Like one group made themselves look like gray aliens, and their leader is like, "We're gonna secede from the United States because they don't care about us." Spider happens to know the guy from back in the day, and he sets up a meeting with him, and they talk. And the guy is like, he's basically full of crap. He just wants to get some fame for himself and his group. Spider's like, bro, the government's not gonna take this laying down. It's like an election year, and they're gonna shut you down hard. And he's like, they can't. We're not doing anything for them to come at us. And Spider says, what if they make up a reason? Nothing is said after that. Sometime later, he's watching the news and the police are in that area. A firebomb is allegedly tossed. And now we have a full-blown riot. So Spider just bolts out and makes his way into the district where all this is happening. And he gets up on a rooftop to report on the situation at hand. He sends this column to his editor, who sends it to another publication, who live stream it basically. So the whole world is paying attention to what's going on right now. And the violence stops. The cops are called off. So he did it. He got his name and his reputation back in one day. And he saved lives basically. So he's walking home all happy, and a cop car stops. They get out and they beat the crap out of him. They leave him bloody, bruised, all that. He gets up, walks home, and he's laughing all the way home. And before he goes into his house, he's like, this town ain't big enough for both of us, and I ain't going nowhere. So after that, he gets an assistant. He'll have two assistants through this out series. I'm not really going to spend time on them. But he does bump into this character that's called the Beast. The Beast is the nickname he gave the President of the United States. And it stuck. Everybody calls him that. Even his kids call him that. So Spider is talking to him and he shoots him with this gun that basically makes you use the bathroom. Yeah, it's kind of childish stuff, but hey, whatever. So after that, it's a bunch of stuff about how the city is a mess, is downtrodden, people are poor, hungry, all that. And then the book goes into politics. Not into politics per se, but like philosophies of politics. So, like I said, it was election year. Someone is actually running against the beast, and it's a man named Callahan. He tries to set up an interview with Spider, and during the interview, he introduces him to his political director, this woman named Vita Severin. The interview doesn't go well. Callahan tells Vita, like, better get him on our side. We need people like that. He talks to the masses and they listen. So later on, Spider and Vita talk again, and Spider kind of digs her vibe, and he writes in an article about he doesn't really like Callahan, who he's called the Smiler because he's always smiling and it's creepy sometimes. But Vita seems like a good person, and any administration with her in it can't be all bad. So it's like a backhanded endorsement. The thing is that Vita doesn't really say much to earn this kind of respect from him. Like, this is just from my reading, my interpretation. So the election still going on. Spider finds out that Callahan's vice president candidate is he's how's the best way to put it? He was just created. He doesn't have a background. He doesn't have anything. So Spider exposes this, and Callahan's numbers dive. He looks like he's gonna lose, like, completely. They're saying that he's gonna concede the race. Um, Vita goes on live national television, and that's what people think she's about to say. And before she really opens her mouth, she gets shot in the head, and she's killed live on TV. The next day, Callahan's numbers rebound. He's back in it. So the Beast gives Spider a one-on-one interview. He tells Spider, I could have had you arrested for that stunt with the gun. Spider's like, that gun doesn't leave no evidence. So are you gonna fabricate evidence now? The Beast says, if the president does it, it's not a crime. He's like, it was. Then he says it's a joke. So don't get all up in your feelings. Spider like unleashes on him. He's like, you only appeal to people's lizard brain, the part that just wants to eat, hump, kill, sleep. You killed Medicaid. I swear this was written in the 2000s. And you want the title of president without actually doing the job. You don't believe in anything. And it's weird because the Beast actually, for the first time in the whole series, he gets mad. He's like, just because you don't like what I believe in doesn't mean I don't believe in anything. And he's like, I believe in getting through the day. And the best I can do is take care of the 51% of people that voted for me. If anyone says they could do a better job than that, they're lying to you. They're con men. And if you think I'm bad, the other guy, the one you endorse, he's someone that doesn't believe in anything at all. Now get out. Like, he's like, that's just basically all he had to say. Callahan, feeling that he should get a similar interview, sets one up with Spider. And this time he's not smiling. Well, he's still smiling, but it's more menacing. He tells Spider that Vita like talked about him a lot, and she probably would have slept with him until he had her killed, and that he's gonna ride the body into the White House. Callahan is all like, I hate people. I only want to be president to mess with people, and I'm gonna mess with you more than anybody because you embarrassed me on television. Spider has set up his recording equipment, and he's like, why are you telling me this? Like, I'm recording everything you're saying, dude. And the Spider's like, recording doesn't work here. We never had a meeting. I was never here. What are you talking about? Election night comes. Callahan wins easily. So the story starts kicking into high gear from here. Spider exposes one of Callahan's advisors for running let's call it an island type situation. Yeah, I swear this was written in the 2000s. Callahan has Spider's journalist insurance canceled and basically has him blackballed from being a journalist. That causes Spider to go underground and join basically like an underground paper. The president has the city declared a disaster zone, and he sends in military units into the city. And since it's a disaster zone, he has the power to stop any news from coming out of the city unless the White House approves it. So the people start protesting. And during the protest, they're sticking smiley stickers on the law enforcement's body armor. And the cops basically start unloading, killing a bunch of peaceful protesters. Yeah. So the thing is that Spider has live footage of this going on, and he uploads it into the net. Some people start seeing it, but not a lot. And probably the most sci-fi part of the book, all the news agencies go F that, and they start airing the footage. They're like, we run on truth, and this needs to be out there. What's the president gonna do? Shoot us all? So he is in a bad place, basically. Like, they're already talking about impeachment hearings and all that stuff. And the Smiler sets up one final meeting with Spider. He tells them everything. He tells them everybody he's killed, all the dark, dirty stuff that he did. And then he tells him the Secret Service guys are gonna kill him. And they look at each other and they're like, nah, man, you gotta do your own work around here, homie. And they leave. Spider's like, that was surprising. And then Spider goes, I was recording this conversation the whole time. And it's live, so people heard everything he said. So the president takes out his weapon and he's like, Spider, don't shoot me. Why? Like he's trying to act. Because again, it's audio, not visual. Spider's like, they're not going to believe that. And he goes, if the president does it, it's not a crime. And just before he's about to shoot, this cop that Spider has befriended enters the room and stops him, arresting him. So we get a little epilogue. It says Callahan is immediately impeached. The new president was saying he will not be pardoned, but he's not in jail. His lawyers are fighting the charges. He has a lot of money to fight it. And also, people are sending him money after all the exposure and concrete evidence. I promise you, this was written in the 2000s. That's basically a quick summary of the story. So what did I take away from this book? It's an interesting story. There's a lot of the science stuff makes you think about certain things, but I didn't mention them because the main part is about politics. And every person Spider takes down is a terrible, terrible person. But at the same time, Spider isn't exactly a good person himself. And I think he only looks good in comparison to the people he faces, which is not a good thing, in my opinion, is not how you should judge anyone. Like, at least he's better than that guy. That should go away immediately. But that's enough of my high horse. I hope you enjoyed this. If not, well, I hope you enjoyed me dying during the game. Take care.